Baby, I'm amazed by you. That's the title from a band called Lone Star. When I was growing up, that was the song that was uh, played quite a bit on the radio. Big, big time, uh, big time tours, and it's very relevant to Voices for Voices, to me personally, to anybody that's ever been a part of Voices for Voices, no matter how small or how big, whether it's giving us a like, downloading, watching, listening to an episode of our show, whether you've taken your hard-earned money and made the decision to donate to Voices for Voices, which we are a 501(c)(3. So those donations are federally tax deductible. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Baby, I'm amazed by you. See, we spend so much time, so much energy, so much negativity, so much stress on the negative, on the, well, we can do this better, we can do that better, and this person does this better than you, or this person does this, or this person does this particular task better than me. And we're constantly in a state of competition, not just between ourselves, but between others, both people we know and people we don't know, organizations, companies that we know, and organizations and companies that we don't know. And so we're in this constant battle of the negative. Now, news and media, a lot of them looking for clicks and uh, so a sensational title, a sensational story, the more provocative, um, the more polarizing words, phrases that are used. If we talk about sex, if we talk about, I don't know, someone who is arrested and what they were arrested for. And and so that gets so much airplay, so much, just so much. And so why is that important? Well, let me tell you, we're on Earth for such a short time. You've heard me talk about this, but it's very near and dear to my heart, especially as a person who not only went through, mental health crash in 2017. I mean, I consider myself a survivor. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was ever going to recover, if my mind was ever going to stop racing, because I was going to be judged and how I was going to be judged and by who, and feeling uncomfortable in situations, social situations, around people I know, people I don't know. And it was this negative feeling towards myself of, are you going to amount to anything? And if you are, what? You went and got your education. You chase titles, job titles. So if somebody's not sure what that means you're looking to get promoted so you can have a title. I'll just call it a marketing analyst. So you're hired into an organization as a marketing analyst. And then there could be a marketing analyst two, a marketing analyst three, a marketing analyst four, a senior marketing analyst, and the list can go on and on. And with promotions generally ties to a larger salary or a larger dollar per hour that we'd be earning or we will be earning once once that promotion, once that title gets increased. And we're told, money makes such a huge difference in who we are and who we can be. And it's true. We have to pay for bills. We have to do that. And so some of us end up in a work environment that might not necessarily be the most positive. It could be toxic. There could be bullying. There can be lots of things that can go on. If you don't know the right person, then chances of being promoted, even if we deserve it and we feel that we're ready, we don't know the right people who are making those calls of who gets promoted and who doesn't, who stays with the company and who gets fired if there's a company restructure, or who goes from full-time to part-time. And so constantly our minds are turning, and we're looking for that next best thing. The grass on the other side of the fence is better than the grass that currently beneath my feet. And so we pivot and take that mindset of, we could be beating ourselves up inside. Justin, you're not good enough. Justin, you're not being promoted as fast as whoever. Justin, you went and got extra education, but you're still at the same place. You're still at the same level. And as we know, there's things called student loans. Either you are able to pay for school or for trainings or certification programs, or you're not. If you're able to pay, no big thing. If you're not able and you get put on a payment plan, and then you have a payment every month and there's interest, and then there's the principal amount. And so we have all these different different elements of society, of being a human, no matter where we live, no matter where we reside, no matter where we visit on vacation. A lot of these norms are what they call universal, meaning if you're in the state of Nebraska and you want to go on vacation to another state or somewhere in your home state of Nebraska, I can assure you that money is going to be a big part of it. Are we driving? Are we flying? Are we taking a train? Are we taking a bus? How long are we going for? How much are we staying at a hotel or a motel? And how much are we, how much are hotels and motels charging? And so we have to think about that. Well, I'd like to go for a week. And then you find out, hotel is two times the amount that you thought it was going to be. And so it's like, oh, well, I thought we were going to go for 7 days. We could only go for three. Because, right, it comes back to money, where we live, where we reside. So, same deal. If you can pay outright for a luxury home in a luxury neighborhood, then then you can do that. If you want to, but you're not able to because of the amount of money, the amount of income that's coming in to your household, we're not going to be able to do that. It's just simple arithmetic, math. I can afford, hypothetically, I can afford $1,000 a month. Well, if where I really want to live, it's $2,500 a month. It wouldn't be very wise to go in that direction of, well, I know I only can afford or our household only can afford, $1,000 a month house payment or condo payment or apartment, well, what have you, knowing full well that the payments are gonna be 2,500. So that first month they're gonna find out like, oh, I missed my payment of $2,500 minus 1,000 because I paid 1,000. And so I would still have to owe $1,500. And then we get to that judging part. Well, somebody I know or somebody my family knows lives in a particular neighborhood, and we would like to live near them or close or in the same allotment or the same city or whatever that may be. Then we're judging. Person A is able to do this, but I'm not able. Person B is able to do it, but I'm not able. So and so in my family is able to do it, but I'm not able. And so again, there's that judging, there's that inevitable inside our mind racing thoughts of like, how can I get to that level? and you may talk to somebody or somebodies, and they could give various responses. Go back to school, go in for this major instead of that. Uh, but whatever that may be. So we're back comparing when we're not able to reach kind of that potential, or if it's taking too long, or been overlooked for too many things. That's what I hope. That's why that I have just a lot of hope that our children are going through the educational system, that they're given the tools of how to manage best as they can these situations of a job loss, a promotion, a job relocation. What happens when an interest rate changes and my payment goes up, and now I'm no longer able to afford that payment, or whatever that is, car, truck, van, SUV, house, condo, apartment, doesn't matter what that is, it matters what it costs. So then we are judging ourselves again. Well, this person's able to drive this type of car, and I got to keep up with them. And so I talk about all these things here on this episode because I'm gonna say more times than not, it feels like in my mind and various reactions and feedback, feels like, well, what's the point? What's the point in continuing? Nobody likes the work, or my mind operates differently, and my mental illnesses, and we think about these things of, again, we're comparing. Why can't I be given, afforded, a particular opportunity? And so it's easy to get down. It's really easy to get down. Anybody's taking a look at social media and photos or videos, exotic locations, beaches and yachts and private jets and you name it. And then when we look ourselves, in the mirror or in the camera, it's like, wow, look at all these people. They're making it. I wish I could. I wish for just one day that I could. And so moments pass, thoughts come and go, hours, days go by until until we until we find not just our purpose, Not just what can pay the bills and make things easier that way, but can we what can we do to help people? And you may be thinking, well, I gotta help myself first. Amen to that. We have to help ourselves first. Again, that's easier said than done. I think we could agree that. I'm overqualified for this. I'm underqualified for that. Um, work conditions and particular field aren't the healthiest, and I have allergy sensitivities, and on and on and on and on. And so if you're like me, you try new things, new ideas. We have trial, we have error. And in fact, we have trial and error all the time and previous in our lives. We just called that judgment, and we called that really beating up on ourselves inside. We called that, again, comparing, judging ourselves against somebody else. It's hard to think that, you know what, I can I can be content with where I'm at. Would I like more money? Would I like more of this, more of that, less of this, less of that? I think everybody's answer would be, yeah. I don't think there's ever enough money, that we feel that we're worth, that we feel that we should be paid, that we should, because we do this one thing or these two things. And while we can justify that inside, it's the outside world. It's people outside many of the times. Let's say if a family business, these decisions of who gets hired, who gets fired, who gets promoted, who gets demoted, uh, those type of questions are answered by people that generally we don't know. A lot of times, first time we meet them is at a job interview. Now we may find, we have similarities of, oh, I like sports. Oh yeah, what kind of sports? Oh, I like um, baseball, football. Oh yeah, who's your favorite team? So there's that. But we started, and like Miley Cyrus says, we won't stop, we can't stop. Like that Lone Star song, Baby, I'm Amazed by You. It's time to give ourselves some love, some support, give ourselves a break from judging, from comparing, because maybe some of the individuals we're comparing to, maybe the type of work they do, maybe that's passionate for them. And so it's not just a job. It's more of a vocation. Like you're called to do what? And some of it comes easy to us and some of it doesn't. Some of it may come on the first try. The statistics generally say, there's a lot of trial and error. We try a new major. We try a trade school. We try a certain field. We try the advertising industry. We tried the manufacturing industry. We tried teaching. And so we have all this experience in these certain areas. And maybe we find that one of those areas is what we end up having that passion, having that fire inside, being like a bulldog. Like I'm gonna do the best I can. I love this type of work. I love this type of industry. I love doing this. I love doing that. I just love what I am doing. And some people will say, well, you don't have a smile on your face. You don't look like you're having fun. Doesn't look like you're happy. Who's been told that? My, my index finger was not shown. I've been told that. I've been told that many times by a lot of people where I would be in a meeting and I would share, I'm excited. Well, you don't look excited. You don't look happy. And so when we get that feedback, we all react differently. I mean, I've spent my fair share of times judging and comparing myself to others, and I've gotten a lot better at it, at doing less of it now. But I'm also in my 40s. I'm not in my teens. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s. So it's taken me a ton of trial and error in a lot of situations where you don't look happy. You don't look excited. You're not smiling. You don't have that happy-go-lucky smile. Well, okay. Somebody can think that, but the only people that know our true feelings, our true colors, is ourselves. And so when we do something, when we complete a project, when we complete a task, when we hit a milestone, how small or how big, whatever that may be, for us, for me, that's what it's all about. And that's how we find what our passion, what we're called to do. And I'm not even just talking about religion or faith or it's what are we what are we good at? What do we like to do? And we do trial and error until we hopefully one day come across that. And so that's what Voices for Voices is for me. When I say, baby, I'm amazed by you, I'm amazed by myself. I feel like Miley Cyrus when she says, I can't stop, I won't stop, because that also alludes to the passion and that I can be kind to myself. And so can you. And I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, that's the mushy," and you know that all kinds of names, all kinds of thoughts, but nobody can tell me how I feel. Nobody can tell me if I truly like something. I truly like what I'm doing. Again, a lot of high percentage of businesses or things that we do, they don't happen right away. They're not the first things always that we try. And so some of us, we may have to trial and error 10 times, others five, others 20. I don't know. But what I do know is for all of those trials and all those errors, the culmination of those experiences has really helped mold me into having a better understanding in my mind of what I like and what I don't like. Some may say, "Oh, you're lazy." Some may say, "What are you doing on the couch for all of those hours?" Or "What are you doing in the office for all these hours?" And my biggest response is, I'm on a mission. I'm going towards goals that I believe in, both short-term goals and long-term goals, and having an experience makes me feel good inside and go, "Oh, wow, this thing that I did, this experience that I had, I didn't know that it was gonna affect me this way because I've been comparing myself to others who are in a different, I'll say like a different level, a different zone, and that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others. Not only others that are not in our zone or in our specialty or what moves us, what brings our emotions, and we feel like, well, yeah, this is work, but it doesn't feel like it all the time. I know if I go do this other thing, it's gonna feel like work, it's gonna burn me out, and we're only on Earth for a very short time. So I'm not gonna die rich. I'm not gonna die with all kinds of money and that, and that's okay. You asked me 20 years ago, that wouldn't be okay to the 23, 24 Justin. And so I'm amazed at myself and everybody, as I stated, that has invested time, energy, money to Voices for Voices. You have a founder that is on fire. You have a founder that's on fire to make a difference, a positive difference in the world. You have a founder on fire that wants and is making a difference domestically and internationally. I'm amazed at how far our organization has come, how far our show has come. I'm amazed at the diversity of our guests and topics and experiences that we talk about, whether you watch or you listen to our show. Over 200, well, this episode is going to be episode 260. Well, we started at zero at some point, and that just blows my mind that, oh my gosh, 260 episodes of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. It's just mind blowing to think that. And so if I didn't have the fire, the intensity, the passion, I would just halfway do it. Be this hobby on the side. It could be considered a hobby, but we just reached a huge milestone of our 260th episode. And even if just one person watched or listened to each episode, or even if there was only one person that watched one episode, then that person was going through hard, a lot of hard things. But because they watched, because they listened, they saw, they heard individuals, an individual talk about their mental health, and that we're not alone. It's not just a slogan. We're not. I sat around a table when I was admitted in 2017 of at least 10 other people that I had never seen in my life. And I thought I was the only one that was going through what I was going through. And how I was wrong. I was so wrong because I would think I might have been halfway in the middle of the other patients. So I got to hear half of the patients share their stories. And by the time it got to me, I could just feel some of the stress and anxiety and oh my gosh, that's not all that's not taken away. But there's this little piece, little part of my mind that was put at ease because it was only at that point where that slogan, I'm not alone, actually occurred to me. Up until then, it was just a slogan, it was just words that were spoken, but I actually saw it, I lived it, I heard it. So I promise you, whatever you're going through, whether you think it's big or small, or whether somebody's telling you, oh, it's just something small, but it's a big deal to you, you know how you feel. Others try to help. Some are more successful than others, but it's only you that can express whether it's internally or whether it's externally, how you feel, why you feel that way. Uh, Not somebody else. And so we didn't need to just trust ourselves. We need to be amazed by things that we're doing. I'll say I would be happy with 5 episodes of the show. I'd be happy with 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 100, 150, 200, 205, 210. And to be on episode 260, it's it's hard to put it into words. And it's actually made things much better for me the quicker our out of studio episodes get filmed and then drop on audio and video platforms. Because at first, I was, and I still am, so ecstatic, blessed, grateful, humbled. They were able to have an in studio uh, component to our show, but there was a little bit missing. There were current events, there were thoughts, there was inspiration, there was passion. That 52 times a year just wasn't enough for me. And nobody's told me to continue, or I should have stopped at a certain point. You know, we all opinions. Right? We are entitled to that. Like I said, the one person that knows at the end of the day how we're feeling is ourselves. And it's okay to give ourselves a break from the judging. It's okay to give ourselves a pat on the back, a well done. Is it nice to hear it from others besides ourselves? Oh, yeah, very much so. It really does. And so I'm amazed at where we're at. I'm amazed at where we've been. I'm amazed by the hurdles and the obstacles that have been put in front of us, to the side, behind us, and how we have not powered through them like, well, this is gonna stop me. Because that's the thought of like, well, just power through it, just get through that situation and then everything's gonna be okay. So I don't like that. I don't like how that sounds. But that's just me. Uh, I'm amazed on how transparent I am for all our viewers and listeners, no matter how many. no matter if there's one or 100 or 20. And I got to decide that. I got to decide if what I share, when I share it, how I share it. Yeah, there's times where I reiterate from a prior episode and a prior episode because on that day and time, that's how I felt. And that's keeping things real. It's how I've felt, not how somebody's told me I've felt or how I feel. It's by me telling myself, these uncomfortable topics, sensitive topics, talking about our minds, talking about our brains, talking about mental illness. And I don't want pity. I just want to help people. That's what Voices for Voices is here for. It's to help people. If I can help one person stand up and rise up and share confidence in themselves to do whatever that is that they want to do, whether that as the trial for a sports team, for a play, for a movie, uh, for whatever it may be, to explore therapy. I don't know, but helping one person, that's again one less person that feels as though they're lowly, nobody understands them. And sometimes we have to, like the Ariana Grande song, we have to break free. And that can mean something different to everybody. But the way I like to think about it is when I admitted myself voluntarily in 2017 to a psych ward, I was scared for a lot of reasons. What are people going to think? I'm one of those people. I'm crazy. And those were all thoughts that were going through my head. And once I was shown that I was being evaluated medically by mental illness, mental health professionals, psychiatrists, therapists, I was able to do a lot of art therapy and I was able to start eating more than just carrots and plain hummus. So some may say and think that, well, that was, the worst day of my life. No, it really wasn't. When I saw that I wasn't alone, when I saw that I was being given nutrition support, I was able to sleep without a phone nearby. I was able to go to therapy and talk about me and listen to others. And at least from my experience, I was shown a lot of people were showing me that they cared. You say, well, that's their job is to do that. Well, it is. And so it's just amazing that in June of 2025, I not only written about my mental health journey, I not only shared it in teaching collegiate students on podcasts, on TV shows that aren't mine and voices for voices, and then, like I said, the 260 that are. So I am amazed at myself, and it's okay for me to feel that way. It's okay to tell myself that. I don't have to constantly feel that. I have to constantly feel that judging. I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Jesus was perfect. We all sin, and, and so I fall off the wagon. But I always like to think that I'm getting back on the wagon and giving it a shot, giving it a try. So we may cover provocative topics from time to time, but it's about humanity. It's about helping humanity. It's about alerting some situations to the public. I mean, and I think because as far as I know, I'm a human. And so by me just being Justin, it makes me feel alive inside. It makes me feel that, oh, maybe I am amazing. And I don't need anybody to judge me and tell me, well, you're not amazing because of this, 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 and this. It's myself, it's me that gets to tell me I'm amazing instead of I'm a failure, that I'll never amount to anything, that I won't do this and I won't do that. And see, Justin, you should have known it. You should have known you shouldn't have done that. And so that's the negative talk. I've already had a lot of negative talk. In fact, I've had too much negative talk to myself. And you may too. You may have just felt that and say, oh, well, it's being reinforced by others. So that's how it is. No, no. It is how you think, how you feel it is. Nobody's going to be as passionate about whatever that is that you're passionate or whatever those things are that you're passionate about. So you shouldn't take advice from people that are telling you how to think. Now we can listen, right? So that's how we learn. We learn from other experiences, talking to others, whatever that is. We can learn and we can, bring in five sources of information or whatever that number is. Maybe it's two sources. I don't know. That doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm a little bit more kinder to myself. That maybe, just maybe, you're gonna be a little bit kinder to yourself. Again, none of us are perfect, so we can have goals that we want to achieve. Maybe we achieve them, maybe we don't. Maybe we achieve them all, maybe we achieve one. But no matter what, no matter what, it's how we feel. And it's okay to say, we're amazing, regardless of anyone else tells us that or not. We all would like that. We all would like everybody to love us and adore us and buy whatever we're selling and hire us for the highest wage and be able to have the houses and the cars and the travel and private jets and all. I mean, maybe that would be nice. But after experiencing my father passing last year, the week leading up to his passing, it didn't matter how many shows I had at that point. It didn't matter how many donations we had at that point. It didn't matter about a whole lot. It mattered about human life, about my father, my dad, my hero, my angel, sitting, reading, and that was without a phone. I didn't have to have the phone with me. I read a paper paperback book, sat with him, held his hand, tried to provide as much comfort as possible. And we all did our the best that we could. There's a lot of things are just really out of our control. And so at that very moment, in those moments, I was learning how important some of the small things are, things that I've neglected over the years. And I think that helped give me additional energy and fire after he passed to say, oh my gosh, Justin, like we don't get to take any of this stuff with us. When we pass on, we don't get to take any of this stuff with us. I don't get to take my phone. I don't get to take my car. I don't get to take my camera, my uh picture with, such and such celebrity or such and such person. I don't get to take those things with me. And that was a very powerful time. It still is. And so it brought things, down down to earth. It brought so much perspective for me and the human body, the human mind, of how powerful just sitting next to a loved one, of understanding that my dad, he he had me, my mom, and my sister, that we're all there. Sometimes we spoke, sometimes we read uh, to him, but we did a lot of quiet sitting, and it brought that perspective right into my head. Like, wow, I should probably reprioritize and try my best to get the most out of life and the very short amount of days that I have left. And so, yeah, we talk about provocative topics from time to time, but it's in the name of humanity. It's a name of free speech. It's in the name of people being a voice for themselves or somebody else in need. And so I want to know at the end of my days, I did the best I could, that I did the best I could, and that it's okay. And I can look back without regret, without regret of, well, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or I wish I would have tried this. Well, I'm trying it. Voices for voices. So I'm amazed at myself. I can't stop. I won't stop talking about easy topics, easy subjects, or tough topics, or tough subjects. Because whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not, none of us are getting out alive. That's nor how much money, how many connections we have, possessions. Those are for the moment. Those are for, living in the moment. And so I'd rather spend my time, my professional time, talking to you, whether you're watching or listening, and bringing others along with me to talk about life. And we thank you for joining us on this episode. If you can give us a big thumbs up, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, all those things that are free to do. They're all free. And if you're able to, we do accept donations at voicesforvoices.org. You can click on support the show, support the organization. That takes you to the page where you can enter your information, complete your tax deductible donation, or you can find us on Venmo at Voices for Voices. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the world and God bless these United States of America. We'll see you next time.